All right, welcome back. We have lots of stories to go over. Yesterday, there was lots of stuff that did happen. In fact, one of the big ones was the Xbox May update, which I already made a video about yesterday. So go make sure to check that one out. That was an incredible update out of nowhere. One of the biggest ones I think we've gotten this generation on Xbox. We also got an amazing Game Pass announcement that we will go over. Xbox is bringing more games over to the PlayStation 5 and seemingly the Nintendo Switch 2. Consoles on Xbox have actually increased recently year over year. So that's an interesting thing as they are generally on the decline. We got some more Battlefield 6 stuff to talk about. Game looks absolutely phenomenal. Sony is canceling a pretty good program here. And I feel like this isn't going to go over well with PlayStation fans. We have that plus some other things to go over. But before we do continue, if you enjoy daily gaming news, daily content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share, like, all that stuff. It really does help get my channel out there. As I've been mentioning this, I've seen a lot of you have been hitting the like button and more people have been subscribing, and I've been seeing the channel grow. So that would be awesome to continue to see. So I thank you for your support. But for now, let's jump into it. So we got some big Xbox announcements yesterday. One of the things that has been phenomenal in 2025, and it's been consistently phenomenal, has been Xbox Game Pass. And we got another announcement here with some good games dropping in day one stuff, as well as a huge game from 2024 that is now coming over to the Xbox Game Pass service. Here is what we are going to be getting. Here are some more games that we are going to be able to play. Monster Train 2, this one here is dropping day one. It is available right now, going to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. And the reviews have come out on this game and they are very, very good. So if you're interested in this one, definitely go ahead and check this one out. It's a roguelike deck building style of game. You can see some of the gameplay here. So if you're into that type of stuff, I would highly recommend going to check it out. Just based off some of the reviews that I did watch yesterday, and game sounds like it would be a ton of fun. Hoping they do end up dropping this one here with touch controls and everything, because I think this one would be great to play on the cloud. But very cool. I'm going to check this game out at some point. Next up, we have Creatures of Ava, which was already out on Ultimate, going to Standard on May 22nd. Stalker 2, obviously that game has been out for a while, going to Standard on May 22nd as well. Tales of Kenzera Zhao, going to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass. This is a very fun game. I've played some of it, and it's very much like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. If you like side-scrolling action Metroidvania style of games, I would highly recommend going to check this one out, as I think you will enjoy it. Got the Division 2. I don't know if this is the first time. I feel like this has been on Game Pass previously, but this is coming May 27th, and this is just in time for the new DLC that is dropping. I will be checking it out. The Division 2 is my go-to looter shooter. It's the one that I play. There's so many looter shooters out there. This is the one I always go back to. So I'll be checking out that DLC and everything. So May 27th coming again to Ultimate, PC, and Standard. To a T, coming May 28th to Game Pass Ultimate and PC Standard. This is also a day one game. This is, they say, a charming, colorful adventure game from the creator of Katamari Damacy, which I actually like those games. So that right alone has my interest. You're stuck in a T pose and in your body, and then you're going around and navigating life and everything. So it kind of is a very interesting concept, which those games from the creators of Katamari Damacy always are. Then we have Metaphor ReFantasio. This is a massive one here. If you haven't played this game yet, this was one of the best games last year, dropping May 29th onto Cloud, PC, and the Xbox Series X and S. So for Ultimate, PC Game Pass, and it is also going to Game Pass Standard. So that increases that value for Game Pass Standard as well. So huge one there, I think, because there are still a lot of people that have not ended up playing this one. And I wonder if Claire Expedition 33 will now have more people trying out different turn-based games, because I feel like that game introduced people who didn't play turn-based games previously to it and got them interested in the future of those types of games. Then we have Spray Paint Simulator coming May 29th. Day one, Game Pass Ultimate, PC Game Pass. I like Power Wash Simulator. I feel like I would actually enjoy this one. So if you like to relax and just spray paint things, I feel like this one will be pretty cathartic for a lot of people out there just wanting to sit back and after a long day of work or something. Then we have Crypt Custodian coming on June 3rd to Ultimate, PC, and Standard, top-down Metroidvania game. And then Symphonia coming on June 3rd to Ultimate, PC, and Standard. And they say here, awaken an expansive musical realm in this non-violent and poetic platformer. I like platformers. I'm going to see what that one is all about. So very cool. I think this is another great Game Pass announcement overall. There are multiple games here that will be interesting to check out and play that I absolutely will be doing that. And on top of that, we got a bunch more games coming to cloud gaming. So if you own these games, you can play them via the cloud. Here's what we got. Brutal Legend, Cosmic Quest 2, Day of the Tentacle Remastered, Full Throttle Remastered, Grim Fandango Remastered, Max the Curse of Brotherhood, Neon Abyss, Quantum Break, Rare Replay, which is a very cool collection, Scream Ride, State of Decay Year 1, SteamWorld Dig 2, Sunset Overdrive, Super Lucky's Tale, and Zoo Tycoon Ultimate Animal Collection. So that was the Game Pass announcement, and I think that's another great one. As again, the next time we get a Game Pass announcement, I believe will be after the Xbox June showcase or around that time, where I think we are going to be getting games that are going to be exciting that they will announce there that will be dropping into the service. So they're ending it off here basically before the showcase on a very, very strong note, and it will continue to get stronger. The first half is coming to an end of 2025. Generally, it's marked by that showcase. It's been very strong. I'm super interested in how they're going to keep this momentum up for another 6 months into 2025 and just how big of a year it is going to be. We know some games that are coming out and those are already looking good, but man, Xbox has been killing it so far this year. It's been by far out of the big three, I would say the one producing all of the games, or at least most of the games, and by far the most exciting of the three platforms at this point. All right, next up, we have some more games from Xbox coming over to the PlayStation 5, and that is Hellblade 2. Not very shocking. This is one that has been in the rumors, I think, for a little bit of time now, and was expecting this, as I think all the Xbox games are going over to PS5 as we continuously see them go down the line and bring these games over after the release on the Xbox. So I think it's been about a year or so that this game has been out, and now it's going over to the PlayStation 5 with the Hellblade 2 Enhanced Edition. Now, there's a couple of things here. This Enhanced Edition will be a free update to all Xbox and PC owners of the game. And then obviously on PlayStation 5, you're going to have to go out there and pay for the game. They say Senua Sega Hellblade 2 is coming to PlayStation 5 this summer with some exciting new features. Now, they don't specifically say what those features are, but they also do mention here that the feature will also be available at the same time as a free update for players on the Xbox Series X and X, Xbox PC, and Steam. And then they say we look forward to sharing more details soon. What's interesting here, and this is not surprising, I'm actually more surprised we haven't seen these announced yet, and they weren't shown off or announced at the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, where they talked about a bunch of games coming to the platform. But it says here from Tom Warren in The Verge that Microsoft is also working on some Xbox ports for the Nintendo Switch 2, which he says he expects they'll hear about soon. Switch 2 is a few weeks away. I have mine. I'm going to be picking it up. There will be Xbox games on there. There will be a lot of Xbox games on there. And that is good. I mean, that thing is going to sell very well. You're going to have a lot more people going out and buying those games. And think about the community of like things like Halo Master Chief Collection and stuff that lands on the Nintendo Switch 2. How much bigger that is going to get. And even with games like the Gears of War Enhanced Edition, I feel like that's landing on the Switch too as well. But we go down here into the comments. People are asking, will the game run at 60 frames on the Series X? I feel like that's probably going to be what the Enhanced Edition is. They say second time seeing Xbox PC. Again, it is the second time we've seen them reference that. Wonder if that does mean anything or if that's just their new naming convention. This person writes, what red line? This person says, good, such a masterpiece of a game. My biggest letdown was that more people didn't play it. And that is the thing with Hellblade 2. That guy's absolutely correct. A lot of people hyped this game up. It did not sell that well. I don't think it did very well commercially. I think it did like mediocre at best. So for them, this is a no-brainer to bring over to the PlayStation 5, especially because the first one was on the PlayStation 4. So they already have an established fan base of this game, of people who want to play it. I think this one will sell decently on the PS5. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near what we've seen recently with recent Xbox games being on the top selling list on PlayStation. This is an Xbox slogan makes a lot of sense when PlayStation gamers are buying Xbox games the most. And we've seen that with their recent releases with games like Forza Horizon 5. In fact, we are seeing it again here with the Oblivion 2 remake. It is on the top of the list for the PlayStation 5. So Circana and MPD and Matt Piscatella put out the best-selling games in the US in April. And surprise, surprise, on the PlayStation chart, the best-selling game is a first-party Xbox game. We look here. In fact, the first two are first-party Xbox games, this is an Xbox thing, makes a lot of sense here. It says here are the top 10 best-selling premium games on PlayStation platforms in April of 2025. Right there, publisher Microsoft. Top two, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, then followed by Forza Horizon 5, beating out the Sony published game, MLB The Show 25 at number 3. And then just under that, you have Indiana Jones at number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops at number 6, and a bit further down, Minecraft at number 7. So we have in the top 10 selling games on PlayStation, first-party Xbox titles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. 5 of them, and only one Sony published game. It's a very interesting time in gaming, but Xbox, I think, knows what they're doing when it comes to publishing their titles. They know people want to play them, they know people want to buy them, and it's being proven more and more every single time they do release a game onto the platform. And we look at the difference here in terms of Xbox and what their top selling games are. All the top selling games on Xbox, the top 3 are Xbox first party games. You have The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, you got The Elder Scrolls Online, and then you have Minecraft here at number 3, and then you have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 down there at number 8. So not a single Sony published game here, which would be MLB The Show. I think that's the only one right now that is on PlayStation, but they know what they're doing. They're on top of the charts on both Xbox and on PlayStation, which is very interesting to see overall. And then in terms of just the top best selling games, the top 20 best selling games in all of April across all platforms, you have Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered here as number 1, and then Forza Horizon 5 as number 2. It jumped from 42 all the way up to number 2 because it did release on to the PlayStation 5. So Xbox is on top of the charts with their games. That is very good for them, of course, and that means that more games will be coming to Game Pass. Like, that is, at the end of the day, as a consumer, as a gamer, when I see those numbers, I don't really care that Microsoft is selling a bunch of games for themselves. I care that this probably means that my experience and the games that we are going to be getting on Game Pass is probably going to continue to be good because they're making all this money off of everybody out there playing the games on the different platforms. So that to me is interesting to see how that is going to all play out. Now, when it comes to Xbox consoles, this is a rarity, at least recent times, is that the consoles, they've been falling year over year, month over month, all that stuff. Like, the hardware sales are not very strong, but we have a weird uptick here where the year over year hardware growth, both in units sold and in retail sales, has actually increased. We have this article here from Windows Central, and it says, this is again from Circana information, Xbox may finally have seen a more solid year-over-year hardware growth, both in units and in retail sales. Specifically, it says here that the PlayStation 5 dollar sales declined 5% in April compared to a year ago, but the platform once again led the hardware market in both dollar and in unit sales. The Switch hardware spending fell 37% in April versus the previous year, and the Xbox Series grew 8%. So it actually went up year over year comparatively to last April. Again, shocking a little bit, but the reality is it's been, like I've talked about at the beginning of this video, an insane year for Game Pass. And maybe that is the reason that we are starting to see this potentially change. Although now with the price increases, I don't think you're going to see this happen again, which is it's a head scratching thing, because I'm sure they had within their analytics about, okay, Game Pass is having an effect. More people are actually going out there to buy the console itself. You would think that they would try to do everything they can to not raise the prices of Xbox and just let that thing sell as much as it can until the end of this generation. Although I think they're already looking forward to next gen, but Game Pass is definitely having some sort of an effect here. People are seeing the value and the amount of stuff you get day one. And I think they're going out there and purchasing an Xbox Xbox just to be able to have entry into the service. I mean, get an Xbox Series S, it's basically the cheapest way to get entry into the service. You could argue cloud is, but you still have to have something to play the cloud on, and your phone's more expensive than a Series S most of the time. A PC is more expensive than a Series S. Your tablet's probably more expensive than a Series S. So it is one of the cheapest ways to get in. And I would say one of the best ways to get in if all you care about is having a ton of games at your disposal, signing up to Xbox Game Pass. But interesting stuff there. We'll see if that continues. I feel like going into next month and after that, it's not going to continue. It's actually going to get worse because of the price raises of the Xbox console. Okay, let's talk here. PlayStation loyalty program, PlayStation Stars, whatever they called it. PlayStation Star was a direct response, in my opinion, to the Xbox rewards, the Microsoft rewards that you still have right now. They actually did an update for it in the recent May update for Xbox, and it allows you to redeem points from just playing games. You can get gift cards, you can get Game Pass, you can get a bunch of other things. So PlayStation Stars coming in as a response, I think, was a good idea. I was happy to see that they were going to reward players for spending a ton of money within the PlayStation Network. Well, it's over. They're ending it. And here is what they say. So they say Sony confirms it's ending its PlayStation Stars loyalty program, and players will be able to use the service until late next year. Starting today, PlayStation Stars will no longer accept new members, and the program will fully end on November 2nd, 2026. They do say that you can redeem your points until that date, and the ability to earn digital collectibles points and level up your status will end on July 23rd, 2025. Specifically, this is the quote from PlayStation's Grace Chen saying, "Since launching the program, we've learned a lot from evaluating the types of activities our players respond best to. And as a company, we are always evolving with player and industry trends. Through this evaluation, we have decided to refocus our efforts and will be winding down the current version of PlayStation Stars. We will continue to evaluate our key findings from this program, and we are looking into ways to build upon these learnings." To me, this is just PlayStation saying, yeah, we don't want to give out any more free games, money, anything like that. So we're going to cancel this program. That's basically what this sounds like. They're cutting costs. And I feel like that's it. I would be shocked if they come out with a brand new revamped loyalty program in the future, but we will see. Hopefully they do end up doing that. The PlayStation news recently has been very bad. I know people come on this channel and think that I'm an Xbox fanboy and stuff, although I do cover all of the news. The reality is, so far in 2025, PlayStation news has not been great. Xbox has been putting out all of the games. We're getting great updates to Game Pass. We're getting a huge update that we just got in May. And then you look at what's happening on the PlayStation side. They're canceling things like PlayStation Stars. The whole Bungie fiasco and scenario, and their output of first-party titles just isn't there. And this is, again, another thing here to me that is just negative. But the interesting thing out of all this is that people just don't really care. The PlayStation 5 still sells very well. And that's why PlayStation knows they can do these things, and nothing's going to change. The PS5 will still sell well. We'll look at the next year's numbers. We'll look at the ending numbers of PS5 sales. It will be over 100 million. Like, it's going to do very, very well, even with the lack of output and things like this happening with the cancellation of PlayStation Stars. It's a very interesting phenomenon, but I think it's because people just go out and buy it to play their third-party games, and that's where their friends are, and that's what it is. So that's why they sell as well as they do. All right, Battlefield 6 looks phenomenal. We've seen some more footage coming out about the destruction. I can't wait for this game. To be honest, I'm way more excited about this upcoming Battlefield than the next upcoming Call of Duty. I really hope we are back in that era of just major competition between those two juggernauts in first-person shooters. And the footage we keep seeing, it continuously looks better. In fact, people are saying here that it's giving Bad Company 2 vibes, which is exactly what I was kind of hoping for, especially in the destruction side of things. They say here that recently more than an hour of Battlefield 6 gameplay surfaced online, prompting fans worldwide to go wild at what's evolving in the developing title. As the play test persists, we're seeing more gameplay emerge, and the impressions we're getting are that Battlefield 6 will be one heck of a turning point for the series. It's exactly how I feel every time I see this data come out. And they also end up saying here from David Goldfarb, who, of course, as you know, is one of the former producers here for for Battlefield. He says, "Oh, the Bad Company 2 vibes this is giving me, having flashbacks to the first time we play tested Arida Harbor." So very cool. I mean, this is exactly what I'm seeing. You should definitely go check out that footage if you haven't yet. The destruction, the atmosphere, like helicopters in the background getting shot down and everything. It really is giving just amazing vibes. I guess that's the word that people use these days. It's to describe how things feel. So it looks awesome. It looks awesome. I can't wait for this, and I think Vince Zampella is going to finally bring this thing back to where it needs to be, which is a top tier first person shooter that goes head to head with the biggest ones in the industry every single time it does drop. But I'll end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.
We'll be right back.